What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Voice acting, I see. Here we go. It's the Great Ace Attorney. Unsettling? Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm assuming they got murdered. Apparently, yes. Alright. Oh man. Isn't that our main character?
But for one man,
Did he just kill a guy?
was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Great, he did. Ryusuke, how could you? I don't know why people are shouting outside at the start of my great departure. Anyways, this is Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney, rather. Been excited for this game since it was announced. Let me just see here. Is the game just like that? No, okay. It got shrunk somehow. My bad. It looked fine when I was doing the other thing. We're there. Antechamber. It's dark matter. Supreme Court Director. Oh, I have to think of a voice. Hey, that's like Phoenix Wright. That's what I kind of did for his voice. Even though I've never done it on the channel before. But this is it. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? No, man, security guards don't change. Whoa, he gets to talk? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. Ryunsuke, right? I didn't realize there was an O in there. I'm sure you guys will tell me. Ryunsuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's a no! Or, who is that? I don't know who this is. Is this Edgeworth? Ancient... I almost said ancient Egyptian. Sorry. I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. Ancient Japanese Edgeworth? He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Why does he need a lawyer? Yes, until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Tell that to my epic swaying bandana. And yet, I seem to know better than you do how a court officer should behave. Oh, I didn't like that turn. He's just like staring at me though. Right, Ryunsuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. I have to give these two somewhat different voices. They're too close right now. Kazuma. Nice. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. It's just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously... What happened to his nose there? But obviously my nose shading has slightly changed direction. You didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunsuke. Good enough. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. It's also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all of this started. Was there another trial? They usually last 3 days, after all.
Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last.
Uh-oh. Wait, but we go abroad. Is he gonna die? Oh, no.
I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world? I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple.
Is it his temple? Like his head? I can't make him British. That's the problem I'm struggling with. Because my brain's like, oh, he's like sophisticated. Make him British. No. Because there's British people. What can I do? He's not gruff, so I can't do like a show-by type voice. Trying to think. I don't know. I don't know. It'll take me a while to figure it out, alright?
I want to bring change.
No, that's too close still. I want to bring change about our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see if the real thing with my own eyes. Slightly British. Only slightly.
The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple.
Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer.
Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Alright. Yeah, he's definitely the Edgeworth of this game.
It was straight after that.
I don't know.
That's when it happened.
Who is this?
Asogi, may I have a word?
This is the professor? It is, okay. Not, well, maybe. Professor, I didn't know you were coming.
Well, this case is of personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers.
To His Excellency's chambers? Why?
He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result.
Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at the university before. If he's a professor, then I guess so, yes. I see. I'll go ahead at once then. Hello. I shall accompany you. He looks over and smiles. Did you hear that? All right then, Ryosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom.
Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Wow, that girl was pretty. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunsuke Naruhodo, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
My name is Yujin Mikotoba. Mikotoba, sure. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad.
Sogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know.
Know what?
Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that this permission will be revoked and never granted again.
What?
As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you.
He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing?
The administration has chosen from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even the most favorable of circumstances.
I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer.
I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial.
Sorry? What do you mean?
You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway.
But then what should I do?
Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction.
Right, so...
As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, "I do."
I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you?
Of course not.
Defendant, I'm back. Court's about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once.
It seems our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. Quite a word there. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours.
What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway.
Oh boy.
This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder.
And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. This game looks so good on Switch. I just hope they bring the other ones at some time.
My one and only chance for proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny.
I'm interested to see how this jury thing works. I like how it sounds like a typewriter, like more like a traditional typewriter than like the ticking of a look at him go. His little eyes wobbling around.
This is a courtroom.
Nobody else is here. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. Wow, this looks very good.
I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there.
The powers that be have demanded this be a secret trial.
A secret trial?
A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and governmental officials may attend.
What? But why?
It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. What did the judge look like? Oh my god, of course it's Pain. Oh wow. He looks scary. Doesn't look dopey like our regular judge.
Court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
As is the defense. Ooh, listen to this music. This is the thing I was most excited for. Almost. I guess I was excited for the game too, but the music.
Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for change of advocate.
That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself.
Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial?
This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do?
Do I actually have a time limit? It is zooming in. Sure, why not? I can probably do it. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. I'm standing here beside the defendant, and I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense.
What's the meaning of this unruly outburst?
I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself.
You'll be... what?
What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now, before the trial.
He did what?
He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose.
How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? I didn't say that.
No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you...
Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Here we are.
Very well. The courtroom hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Honorific so.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. Oh man, it's the classic. In fact, my mind's gone completely blank. He's leaning on his sword. That's a good one. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Ouchie. His name is Ouchie. I just realized that. Okay.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought here before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous... Perpetrated, not perpetuated. A most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean?
He's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
Great.
So, let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Oh, yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again?
Ryunsuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank?
You know me too well.
All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that.
It's simple. You access the court record with a press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there.
I just have to press R for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose.
R! Nice. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Try switching to people instead with R. Hey, look, there they all are. You'll find the details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Oh, I actually want to look at this. Kazuma Asogi, 23. Wow, we're the same age. Wow. A second year at the Imperial Yume University is my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Yujin Mikotoba, 42. Probably going to end up being the killer, right? It's the only other one here. A medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Takatsuchi? Ouchie? Takatsuchi, right? Takasuchi? That's probably more accurate. The lead prosecutor on this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. That makes sense. John H. Wilson. Oh no, Watson died? The victim of this case, he was visiting Professor of Medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. No wonder Sherlock ends up here. John Watson. That's no good.
So remember, everything you do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting for any longer. Go on.
Just one question. How does your bandana work? Where does it go? After it comes from your forehead? Is it just under all your hair? Why'd you do it like that?
Find the victim in the people section of the court record. Press X to present. Try now.
Okay, so it's X. That also makes sense.
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Dr. John H. Wilson.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago.
Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And most of you will be aware we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations.
There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Except me, I guess.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
But I didn't do it.
This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter.
In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime.
So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it?
Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman.
Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime.
Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer.
Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. Just splice that into the first one. The voice is better.
The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait, I've seen that man at the university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello.
He's gonna be dead. He's gonna be sitting there, but already dead. He drank poison.
So I went over to the professor's table.
No, he's not dead. Never mind, he's fine.
Introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Hello there. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death.
Never mind, it was a gunshot. I guess I probably could have just checked that. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That's probably going to be important.
The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunsuke.
Remember that in the court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence.
By evidence? But how?
Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death. Then select present. Do it now. Bonk.
Yes! Well...
Look at him go.
According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report.
In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way.
Oh, I see.
As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. Well...
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern the scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by a powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Right.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record.
Alright.
So that's a photographic print. Wow, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible.
Photographs, am I right? To be fair, photographs had to be like the biggest revolution in crime stuff since, I don't know, hunches.
Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime where it happened.
This is it, then.
I think I might have worked out what the professor had in mind.
The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba?
Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant.
Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial.
He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he?
Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma.
Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats.
Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first.
It's a butler. Actually, I guess he's a waiter. I was going to say server. It's not exactly right. It's going to be something else. You know what it is.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Hosonaga. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival.
Why is he bleeding?
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some,
It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
Well, it really, really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, in Occidental Eatery 3 years ago. 3 days ago.
3 years ago.
Understood. Hosonaga-san, will you kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident?
At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring, maybe, but aspiring? Ooh, listen to this. This is some cross-examination music.
It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied.
He picked up the British accent from being in the restaurant, okay?
That fits with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place.
It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery.
Bang.
A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes! Hold on! Let me clarify something here. Well, I did pick up the gun I found lying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him.
Listen to that voice.
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur.
But...
Sorry, I have to take a drink.
Next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo.
Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see in court today.
You're already bleeding. Now you're bleeding more?
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student.
Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table?
What's the matter, Ryunosuke?
That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello...
A lady. Is this gonna be like his wife that everybody hated in the Sherlock show or whatever? I can't remember her name.
There was a woman sitting opposite to him at his table.
Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed.
I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do?
Can I object now? I feel like we gotta get to the part where I can interject, right? Like the actual present part of the trial?
I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject.
Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you?
I suppose I am. I'd never have gotten into Yume University otherwise.
But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? Well, they're gonna give me a time to cross-examine, aren't they? If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it if you're found guilty.
Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of evidence, or piece of advice in a hurry.
And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it.
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw.
Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone.
I don't believe it.
I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to.
Nice.
Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout, drawn by yourself, I presume.
That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone.
Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter.
Thank you, sir.
Clunk.
Court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Oh,
Well,
Is there a problem? Hand the plans to the court officer at once.
of course. Here you are.
what's on the other side of the card? What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Oh my. Is he just gonna keep doing that? Something clearly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card.
So, the court has now heard the précis of the case.
Yes, and at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we're looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo,
Yes, Your Excellency?
if you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment.
I call
this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of this case to the court. But I must warn the defense if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or the other, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence?
He leans in. He's like, "Are you serious?"
Everyone keeps telling me this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotoba said it, so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this.
As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face. Is that it?
What?
If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunsuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Whoa, that was weird. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Listen to the voices in the back. They're a lot more ominous than the regular ones.
Indeed. Prosecutor Auchi, please continue with proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever.
You're not going to kill me on the spot.
The prosecution calls its next witness.
Bonk.
Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once.
Are we gonna have the 5 witnesses thing now? Or 5 people? Yes, we are. It's only 2, but yes.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant.
Is that an I? Isa Nosa? Oh, I, sir, no, sir. Okay. Got it.
Isa no, sir. Reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Korekuta, at your service.
Curio, like curiosity. Curio shops. Korekuta. I'm not sure about that part.
An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
I thought you said no one else was there. No, yeah. They must have been the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea in the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios of which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. Oh, so he needs like a voice. Gotcha. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Rich foreign clientele, even. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there.
Was that a baby noise? What the hell was that?
Infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir.
This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. It was a baby noise. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier's claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw, the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Sir, yes, sir. Standing by the ready to report, sir.
Does he have... He's got a baby strapped to his back, doesn't he? That's what that cord is around his body.
Well, I savory memories of a most acerbic afternoon.
There we go. That'll work. What the witnesses saw.
I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my very own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
And from the back, the cowardly little weasel. There we go.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
So he didn't see it.
Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim?
Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. Wait, why he's got a knife all of a sudden?
What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day.
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryusuke?
Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up...
That's weird.
Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was.
I bet you it must be the old man then, right? Because he was shot him from underneath the table? Perhaps? We'll see.
There is? Ryunsuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. Ding! It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly. The testimonies the court has just heard eliminate any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this
He raises his hand. We're on school, Ryunsuke.
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination.
Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic.
Huh? How did you know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Was that cause? Oh, okay, that's his voice. The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it, it is irrelevant.
Ah,
Cosmo's so commanding.
Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness, says. There's two of them, I forgot.
All right, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunsuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination.
Isn't it obvious?
You have to expose the lies in the witness's statements. How?
You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie.
Well, yes, but
It's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Does that diagram show entrance kitchen? I don't think it shows the people. Magnifying glass. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of funny that you can see like the connecting lines. Look at that. You can see where he connected the little... It's neat. Okay, let's look here. Is there anything I can see here? Nope, it's just a bullet wound. I thought it might show where they were in the other... The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That's probably what's going to be important here.
Right, evidence. All I need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now, let's go, Ryunsuke. Don't let them beat you.
Alright then. It's all or nothing. I like that moment. Gadonk. And it's just like... What the witnesses saw. On our health points of the little Ace Attorney stars. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of this. This is where I get to talk. Tactical discussion with the old man. I can press already. Burn the virtues. Wait, never mind. This is definitely it. On the back, it didn't pass through his body. This is clearly shows it was from the front. Excuse me, you little goofball.
What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache.
Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here.
What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom.
This is so frustrating.
Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court.
Kazuma, what?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from the single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense. There's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement.
What?
Sergeant Lysinosa, or Isinosa.
Yes, sir. What, sir?
The statement you just made was this. Listen to this music. Hold on. It's not quite fired up yet, but this is like cross-examination middle. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir! But no! That just can't be!
Why not, cadet?
Because...
Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest.
Ah!
Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, there's the baby.
Rather.
I have to pause. My dog's going crazy. Hold on. So sorry for the interruption.
What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again.
Certainly, there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa?
Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly affixed on the delicious The Carnival steak, sir. What?
The last testimony the court heard was proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Isinosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
Ah, that's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom.
Ah.
How do you make that sound? Inconsistency, sir. You get medals? Nice.
There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial.
Haha, turnabout. I know that word.
Just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about.
I know that word.
But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor.
And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either.
Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, but what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure.
Treasure? Oh god.
Indeed, Hoyer Kuban, my prized coin.
Oh, you just like flipped a little Ace Attorney flip.
On each occasion when I visited that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest for my shop, Rasute.
In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you.
On the day under scrutiny, it was the military man that I offered my hoy treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but I was presented with little alternative.
It's really hard to do that on some of these words.
And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, there was no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but he did it I did not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded hoy treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious hoy Kaban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
As I'm very well sure everyone out present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon.
Nevertheless, the witness's testimony the court has just heard is inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now.
What's your position, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he'll find a wolf at the back.
Ooh, nice saying.
My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunsuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he?
Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation in the next episode of Ace Attorney.
Thanks for watching my first episode. I wonder if some of you came here from my Capcom reaction thing for E3. Because for some reason that got more views than I was expecting it to. I hope you're excited for this series. Or at least as excited as I am, which is pretty excited. I love Ace Attorney. And finally, there's an Ace Attorney game I can play for you that I haven't already played. These were the games that got me into these murder mystery visual novel stuff. And as you guys know, if you've been on the channel before, Danganronpa is a pretty big thing for me, so I have to pay my respects to Ace Attorney here. Plus, it's going to be fun. Alright, that's all I can really say.
By order of the law, you must like and subscribe to this channel. Now!
No cross-examinations allowed. Okay, see you next time, guys.
Bye!